On Legendary here playing more RuneScape Dragonwilds. Welcome to a Data Gaming XP Run, episode 147. So, in this episode, I do want to work on magic a little bit, so we probably are going to be killing a little bit of sheep and ram, as well as collecting dwellberries. Um, Obviously, our focus has been really strong on cooking lately, and this is just going to be because we have decided to finish working on rune crafting, at least up to 1,000,000 XP. And I knew that that would actually happen, but also we happened to check out the Discord again, which we sort of took a little bit of a break from checking, and it looks like there was a little bit more of some sneak peek from the what's to come in Fail Hollow. Really, just some discussion, not so much anything else new. But obviously, there's a lot to be excited about with what's coming to the game. So, just really early stuff. So they haven't actually given us everything yet, but I think that's actually decent. You don't want too much spoiler right off the bat, but we're obviously all really excited. Even if they hadn't given us any spoiler, I'm pretty sure, very fairly certain that we've all would have been extremely excited about the update coming. I'm just hoping that they can deliver it when they're supposed to, as obviously this can be quite a challenge for developers. So we're actually going to get rid of this because the reason we had this lodestone was obviously for essence, but I don't necessarily think that we need it anymore because we're not really getting essence anymore. So I don't really think we need that. But we are going to be collecting dwarberries, so maybe we can find another place where actually that will make a little bit more sense. I know it's going to be so much harder to actually kill sheep and ram with fire magic, but obviously it can be used as an area of effect. But see how ineffective this is. It's absolutely ridiculous. So, not very good at all. And with sheep, it just takes way too long to actually kill the sheep. Hopefully, as magic progresses and we get to high levels, we can actually see a difference in the damage that it's doing. Because it just doesn't make any sense. And obviously, you can use air spells, but that's not really going to make a huge difference. It's just not my preferred method to actually use magic to fight. But let's go ahead and go to another area where potentially we can get a little bit more. This actual location is for sheep and ram, so I might keep that. But as time progresses, we're going to actually be getting rid of a lot more of these lodestones. One of the big reasons is because we're going to need an insane amount of lodestones when it comes to Fail Hollow. So we're going to go ahead and move this one as well, even though this is a great one for sheep and ram. I think that moving it to a more suitable location actually makes a lot more sense. I think this is a way better location for dwellberries. So let's just go ahead and put it right here. That actually might be too close to these dwellberries, as it's pretty close to the actual node of them. So we'll have to wait and see in the future whether or not that's hurting us or helping us. We are going to switch to air spells. I think it's actually probably a better idea. So let's see how that affects things and then go from there. But yes, so there's two more dwellberries we can grab while we're over here. It's so interesting. I could have swore that the bad guys used to spawn in right there, and they just don't do that anymore. So it's quite interesting. But we've got one more lodestone that we can sort of make. So let's go ahead and see where else we might be able to put that. That would actually be an advantage to us. Potentially over in this area over here to the right. But I think we've already got one over there. I'm not 100% sure. But yeah, so air, it takes 2 with air spells to kill the sheep. So it's definitely a lot better. Interesting, the sheep came to protect the wolf came to protect the sheep, which is very interesting. As we all know, that's not how the story goes. The wolf should have came to kill the sheep. So let's take a look. I think there's a lodestone over here already. I could have swore. So maybe not. But there's really not that much. Um, there's not that much strawberries over here. I think it's only like 2 plants. So it's not even a great spot to actually put the lodestone. It might actually be 3 plants. Let's take a look. So I only see 2. So yeah, that's not a great place. So much sheep and ram out here. But yes, obviously we're working on magic and getting a little bit of cooking resources, so it all works out. As long as there's no bad guys, it's not nighttime, so it's obviously something we have to worry a little bit less about. But this sheep here And so getting lots of resources, we've got to try to find a way to use all of our extra resources that we sort of got lying around to actually benefit us. And I don't necessarily know how to do that to get other XP and different skills that we normally wouldn't be getting, right? And I'm talking about hides, things like that. So really, it's just going to take some time to figure out how that's going to benefit us. Let's go ahead and we sort of blew it there, picking up that doorberry. And now that sort of put us over, so it's a little bit harder to walk around. So let's go ahead and drop all this in here. And then we've already got so much junk in here, so it's a little bit complicated. Let's see. Actually, that food needs to come back out. So this is interesting. We just want to sort of get our inventory empty so we can have more space and have more room. But we're getting quite a bit of things. Let's see what the top one has. I really hate to mix all this up, but that's okay. So let's get right back to it. We also, another thing we really forgot to do is actually eat a wild pie, which is going to be greatly beneficial to get more XP while working on magic. I know there's a magic potion you can make, right? I think it involves clay, which a user actually recently, so, oh, not a user, but I guess someone who's been watching my videos sort of said, oh, clay is actually going to always be useful because you can use it for magic potions. But I imagine as time goes on, they're going to make more powerful magic potions. But that's some way that I actually could help myself, potentially, by using magic potions that let me do more damage. But I don't think it's really that big of a deal. It's not going to be a make or break situation. What we're trying to do right now is get our shield out, but we're getting annihilated in the process. So, trying to get rid of this ram really quick, because it's already a lot to deal with a direwolf. So let's go ahead and do this. The direwolves are incredibly powerful, but they give quite a bit of XP, so they're actually something really good to kill. There we go. So he's dead, and quite a bit of XP there. I love range. I hate having to jump from range, and but that's okay. So we don't want to really be out here in this area right now. We've got that shaman, which we really don't want to have to deal with. So let's go ahead and teleport potentially somewhere else. I could have swore we just got these dwellberries. Are they all respawned? No, just those two. So I must have accidentally missed them. So let's go here. There must be some dwellberries because actually I know exactly where we're at. And that's not what that is. So I know we're going to be killing sheep and ram, but we're still getting XP and different things here. So let's switch back to magic as we want to keep focusing on what we were trying to. Don't want to stray away too much. So let's grab all these different cooking resources, and it's quite crazy. Even with the change to cooking, it still takes quite a bit of time to get cooking XP. I'm obviously grateful that they changed it because it's obviously a lot faster, but still takes some time. So it's not like it's not fun. It's actually very therapeutic to play the game. So there's really nothing much to complain about. And you actually get deliveries rather fast. I thought about doing clean water again, but we've already got so much. So I think that's really difficult to really want to go back and do that. Obviously, it's guaranteed, it's quick, it's easy, just really easy XP. But you don't get a crazy amount. So beneficial in some ways, and then other ways a little bit crazy. So let's see, we've got this wolf over here, which I don't think that we can completely avoid. So we're going to have to kill him and get a little bit of meat, which we can use to level up quick. And look at all these dwellberries. It's absolutely insane how many are in such a small area. I need another lodestone here. Do I? I must have already. I did. So I put back all the resources, which would have actually made insanely good sense to actually put a lodestone here. And so we'll have to do that more in the future, but we did not do it now. So lots more dwellberries this way. We've got onions. So if you're looking for a good area, obviously there's a couple other good areas, but since we've built so much around the game, some of the areas that would have actually been amazing are no longer even, they wouldn't make sense at this point because we've made too many buildings in those areas. So that was a rather fast kill right there. So I'm sure his magic gets better. A lot of these lower level creatures, which once took too many hits to kill, will obviously get a lot easier. But these aren't necessarily a bad thing to kill. You're going to get a lot of Garu packs. Getting lots of good resources right now for cooking, so that's good. And we're getting XP in magic, which is something that we definitely need to keep working on if we want to keep seeing progress in that. Because honestly, it's not our favorite combat style, so it makes sense that we don't spend a lot of time using it, but we have to use it in a way that basically, as new spells and things come out in the game, you're going to want to be able to do all those new great things. So we've got a little bit of a problem. We've got a dire wolf after us and two Garu berserkers. So this is a completely unfair fight, and the odds of our survival right now are not great, considering our health is so low. And I just imagine we're going to die rather soon here. If we do survive, I'll be quite impressed. But we basically can't wait one more mistake, and there was the mistake. So we're dead. And then I just saw another berserker on the right-hand side sort of see our fight and want to join in. So obviously that's not going to end well. And we're going to take a ward stone. We're going to re-up on our potions and drinks. And a warband is attacking our base. So you've got a little bit of a mix of everything right now. We've got no weapons, which I completely forgot. So we've got real problems now. We can't fight this warband. I mean, I guess we could. We could run in and... We actually have arrows, so we can do it like this. But this is terrible. This is horrible. It's slow. And now they're going to start destroying everything in my base. So this is just not working. And range is not the way. I mean, these guys are low level. Maybe I'm using terrible arrows. That could actually be the reason. But this is not exciting right now. It's too slow. Even though arrows are faster than crossbow. This is absolutely terrible. Not exciting at all. And this is just the first wave. Obviously, I want the goblin packs, I suppose. And I'm about to die, even though I crushed the ward stone. So that's no fun. Let's try to run back to our base and take another ward stone so we can actually try to survive this. But we'll pick up all the goblin packs on the way. Still got to get back to our body as well, because obviously we're really far from that now. Let's see. Lots of different things on the ground. I don't think they're going to allow us to actually pop a ward stone before killing us. Maybe I didn't pop it in time. That could have been what happened. Let's see. So he's dead, but we've also got another wave coming, so we're going to have to deal with that as well. This is just horrible. Do I have any good weapons I could potentially grab? They're not in there. Where are they? Anything I could use? Nothing. Insane. We're getting a little bit of ranged XP, which I guess is good. We're really trying to get magic, so it's not really helping in the ultimate goal of what we were trying to accomplish. And you could just see this is, I mean, like, we could be using better arrows for sure, I'm sure, but not great when you've got to use these ones. Look at the accuracy too, is absolutely terrible, but I'm sure as we get better bows in the game and things like that, we will see an improvement on that. We're just waiting for our stamina. All right, so that was terrible. That last shot missed. There we go. And our ward stone's completely gone. So 3 of these guys. It's ridiculous. We've got to go back and get our body. And so much time has been wasted on this little thing here. Just goes to show you, if you were going to be in a huge battle, you probably wouldn't want to use bows and arrows. It would be time lengthy for sure. Maybe we could go for a headshot, and it still didn't do much. Anyway, thank goodness that's over, but it did not say the warband is done. Oh, there we go. They stopped. So let's go back and get our stuff. Where did we die? We died right there. So let's go ahead and grab all the stuff to actually put a ward stone there, which is going to be essence, stone, and then we need to grab the ward stone because we've obviously got to put one there. I think that's going to do it. Okay, so not ward stone, a lodestone. So let's go ahead and go get our body. On the way, we're going to grab a little bit of strawberries and onions if we see any. That's crazy. Something so small caused such a big problem. Let's take a look. So, just in the event that potentially it's higher off the ground, we're going to start up here. There we go. And that's really what happens when you're out here and you know, you're doing things at night. You're going to have these problems. You're going to run into all this stuff, and it's going to be a lot worse than if you were doing it in the daytime. So, things we already know for sure. Where's our body? There it is. So we are going to put a lodestone here, as this is a great place to do that. And, interesting. I don't know why it... That just totally ruined a lot of stuff right there, for sure. That's terrible. So that's number 3. Number 1 is going to be these. Number 4 is going to be our axe. I think that pretty much took care of everything. So let's just go ahead and grab these last couple things, and then looks like more of this stuff spawned in. So we're just going to grab these really quick. Since we're here, it makes sense. And I think we really need another lodestone over there. But I guess if we had to run over, it wouldn't be the end of the world. Okay. Let's go back to our base and put everything away, and then we're going to do an XP update. But making progress, as we all know, it does take time. I keep putting things in there that don't go in there. I think that pretty much covered it. There we go. So let's go ahead and put all the raw food in here. So we're actually stacking quite a bit of food rather fast. We just got to keep going. And there's obviously determination involved. And let's see what we've got going on. So quite a bit of dwarberries. Obviously, we need tons more. I mean, we just need so much more food. Anyway, guys, let's go ahead and do an XP update. So 336,000 attack XP, ranged XP 73,000, woodcutting 1,004,000, construction 2,015,000, rune crafting 1,001,000, magic 127,000, mining 4,259,000, artisan 4,132,000, cooking 557,519. So we've got lots of work to do, and we plan on doing it. So hopefully you guys are enjoying our content. Hopefully you guys are enjoying your adventures in RuneScape Dragonwilds. And Fell Hollow is almost upon us. So until next time, Legion Luda out.